Today is 820th day. I'm here to share lessons to learn. I'm learning. I hope this will support your dreams. Your goals allow you to become the person that you want to become. Today, I'm going to speak about planning. Because without planning, there will be no results. Because when you think about results, what are the equation of results? That is, planning plus execution is results. So that means if you do not have execution or planning, you will not get results. Now, of course, when you think about results, we need to understand that we need to have 5-10% focus on planning and 90%, 95% on execution. But it's essential to plan, because if you don't know why you do things, it's very, very hard to understand how to do things. Because when you know your why, you will find a way. I truly believe that. It's one of the most powerful things in life. When you know why, you will pay any kind of price. Because a lot of times people bargain on the cost, bargain on the price, but when you know why, you will be able to really execute. So that's why planning is understanding what is your why. What is the why? So today we'll share like 10 things that what is essential during planning phase. Of course, as I said, it's very, very important not to overspend your time on planning. It's important, it's very essential, but we not need to stick there, because as soon as you start executing, you start to feel results. You start to feel some kind of achievements and small improvements, and needle will start moving forward. So number one is that when you think about planning, what we need to figure out is purpose and clarity. Purpose and clarity. So that means that when you think about what is the purpose of this planning, what is the purpose of our life? What is the purpose of some kind of objective? So what is that purpose? Why you want to pursue that? So when you understand the purpose, all other aspects will become so much more clear, because it's very, very easy to execute when you have the clarity. Because when you don't have clarity, you execute in 5 different directions and you do not get results whatsoever. So purpose and clarity is very essential in planning phase. Number two is goal setting. So now when you have a goal, when you have a purpose, that means that it's much, much easier to set goals, because the purpose is the overall structure, overall movement, or even foundation things. And now, of course, you're able to grow from that. So goals is one of the things that is grow through that. So when you have very strong foundations, very strong roots, and that is purpose, this is much, much easier to understand, okay, what kind of goals could allow me to achieve my purpose? What kind of goals could allow me to achieve my purpose? That's a very, very important question, because it's not vice versa. But people ask, okay, what's my goal? And then they start to achieve goal, but at the end of the day, their goal doesn't align with the purpose. Their goal doesn't align with the purpose. So we always need to ask how this goal will be additional, in addition to my purpose. Now, when we finish with goals, the next step is really being flexible, adaptable. Flexible, adaptable. Now, I think that we need to be flexible not with the vision and the purpose, because purpose a lot of times is very foundational and root things that is very essential, very, very important. It might change, and we need to be flexible with that as well. But goals and how we achieve it that's what is very, very flexible. So that means when you think about it, we have a purpose and we have multiple goals, how to achieve that purpose. It might be that we are able to choose different path, different goal to achieve the same purpose. So that means we need to be flexible and adaptable. If you see that this goal doesn't work, this goal doesn't pursue and doesn't add value to my purpose, maybe we're able to choose different goal. And that's why we need to be flexible and adaptable. Number 4 is that in planning, we need to involve stakeholders. Stakeholders are the people who really have some kind of skin in the game, or people who are influenced because of your actions, because of your execution, because of your planning. So when you start executing, who will be impacted by that? Who will be impacted? Who are those people? So they are stakeholders because they will be impacted. So of course, we want to have a conversation with them, because when you will start executing, those people will be impacted. And of course, if you have them on board and supporting you, you will move much faster rather than really trying to battle them and really. Because when you really explain why you do things, again, this is very important in planning, understanding the purpose and ensure the purpose of your actions, of your execution, will allow stakeholders, people who are impacted by actions, be on board on your train, on your bus, whatever how you call it. Number 5 is a risk assessment. Assessment. So that means when you plan and you have goals, you have actions that you want to take. So what kind of risks are there? You're able to prevent some kind of risk. So that means that when this happens, if this happens, and when that happens, this is what I will do. So of course you're able to prevent some risks and some are not preventable. But you need to understand that some risks could be prevented, and you need to really invest in those time, because when you invest in prevention of risks and you really understand what you will be able to do, and you cover 80% of risks, only 20% left. So it means that when other people are battling with all those challenges, obstacles that could be prevented, you are moving further, you are moving faster. It's very important. Number 6 in planning is very, very important, resource allocation. Resource allocation. So how much money you will need, how much energy you will need, how much time you will need, how much people will need, everything that you need to write down, exactly how much you will need for this business, for this idea, for this purpose, for this goal. How much resources you will need to have. You need to have clear understanding. Because a lot of times people start a purpose, start a goal, and after a while they realize that they do not have anything whatsoever. Now, you don't need to have full understanding. It's just ballpark. How much do you think that you will need it? Because when you know a ballpark what you will need and what you need and how much you will need, you will go out and look for those. Because our mind is a powerful tool and we need to use it. Because when you program your mind to look for something, it will find. I truly believe it. Our brains are very, very powerful tool. So we need to understand what kind of resources we need and how much do we need. And when we start working on executing, we will find the resources, because execution attracts resources. Execution attracts resources. Number 7 is prioritization. Prioritization. This is very, very, very important in planning. Because we have multiple goals. We have multiple actions that we want to take. Some are very strategic, some are major, some are minor, but every aspect, every action needs to be done. But the order of those actions, that's prioritization. So what are the things that will move the needle forward the fastest? So when you're able to prioritize the most important things the first, maybe the hardest things the first, who will give the most results for the shortest period of time? Because sometimes when you do not have a lot of energy, when you do not have a lot of results, first thing what you need to do, you need to have some kind of results, that you have small achievements, you can elevate your energy, and that energy is essential resource to pursue other actions, other goals, and other things that allow you to move the needle forward. Number 8 is communication. So number 8 is communication. So that means that we need to be able to communicate, and this is part of stakeholders, who you need to communicate to make sure that you're able to achieve the best part. So it means when you think about communication planning, we need to understand that there will be some communication included in any kind of goal. Because if your goal and purpose doesn't include communication, what is that purpose? Because purpose is supposed to be about other people. So that means that communication is essential. If other people included in your purpose, that means that you need to understand what kind of communication you will need to do to make sure that other people are on board with your vision, with your purpose, with your goals. It's very, very essential to understand what kind of communication you will need to do and where we will be able to communicate. So what kind of sources? It's very, very important to plan that as well. Number 9 is measurement and evaluation. So that means that when you plan, now you start executing, you still need to measure and evaluate. So that means that planning is not finished when you finish 5% of planning and you start executing. Planning is still will be there. You need to look into how well you planned, because in the future we'll need to plan again. So it means you need to evaluate your planning. So it means when you start executing and you look into, okay, did they plan well? How well did they plan? What worked, what didn't work? What things that I planned for didn't happen? What things that I didn't plan for and I needed to execute? So that means you need to measure and really evaluate your planning. Then number 10 is, and probably one of the most important things, is that really understand that we need to continuously improve. Continuously improve. So it means when we are planning, we need to plan our improvement and continual growth. So that means that we have a personal growth plan as well. Because when you have a purpose, when you have a goal, most important to understand is that when we set the goal, when we set the purpose, our purpose and our goal needs to be bigger than us. Our purpose and goals need to be bigger than us. Because if you set goals that you are already able to achieve right now, that means that you seek too little. It's very, very, very important to build and set goals and purpose that are bigger than who you are at the moment. Because that will require you to grow, to expand the comfort zone. And that is essential. Because I truly believe that everyone wants to be better. Everyone wants to reach that a new level of themselves. And planning supposed to be that about really, okay, this purpose will require me to stretch myself. So what kind of goals I need to put? Growth plan. So what kind of growth plan do I need to do? Including communication. What kind of skills do I need to develop? During planning, you're able to really write down what kind of skills, communication skills, public speaking skills, any kind of skill that you need to develop. Emotional intelligence, like what do you need to develop to really build yourself so the goals you have set for yourself are not bigger than you, because you will need to reach those goals and be bigger than those goals to really achieve them. So when I think about planning is very, very essential. So today I wanted to focus really just on planning, and tomorrow I will focus more on execution, because I said that planning plus execution is the result, and one is missing. And there's a lot of misconception with execution as well, and with planning. And today, the biggest thing that I want to really take out from this lesson, that we need to plan for execution. Because execution without plan will not bring as much results as possible. It will bring results, but it will take much, much, much longer than needed to be. So I hope you choose to win, and see you tomorrow.